Just in May 2017, the Nobel Prize-winning economist Angus Deaton suggested that President Trump's economic policies could potentially exacerbate income inequality in the country, referring to his policies on the deregulation of the financial industry and his proposed healthcare reforms. According to Euromonitor International data, the US is one of the most unequal countries in the OECD. In 2016, its Gini index of 48 was almost on par with developing countries such as Bolivia, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic. To measure income inequality, we will use the Palmer ratio, which is a measure of the share of the incomes earned by the richest 10% of households divided by the poorest 40% of households. Essentially, the higher the ratio, the greater the share of the income earned by the richest 10% of households, and this implies greater inequality. Looking at the US's leading cities, Miami and Houston came out to be the 17th and 18th most unequal cities in the country in 2016 out of a list of 350 cities. In both cities, the share of the income earned by the richest 10% of households was 3.5 times more than the poorest 40% of households. Other cities such as New York and Los Angeles closely followed. Meanwhile, Washington was a relatively equal city by country-level standards. Nonetheless, when measured against Western European counterparts, it was rather unequal. Why is income inequality such an important subject? And why are city-level insights crucial to governments and public policy analysts? In cities plagued with high levels of income inequality, the tax base can be severely reduced, meaning resources used to fund schools, hospitals, and other public services will be considerably reduced. Moreover, rising income inequality ultimately reduces consumer purchasing power, and this is especially problematic for low-income households who spend their largest share of the budget on non-discretionary goods such as food, housing, and transport. Finally, according to British epidemiologists Richard Wilkinson and Kate Pickett, high levels of income inequality can act as a causal link to poor health, raising the instances of infant mortality, decreasing life expectancy, and increasing the chances of obesity. Such aspects can have a detrimental effect on labor productivity in cities, and this can actually further increase inequality.